What's up, guys? Coming to you with another video. If you watched my last video on the news of Superman, the reboot, the DCEU and everything, I was basically saying, like, it's a bad idea. Don't reboot Superman. And I explained in that video the multitude of reasons. So there's some new news that Superman is actually going to be continuing with Henry Cavill, and there's a possibility for a sequel according to David S. Goyer. Honestly, I don't believe it because I'm optimistic, but following the outpouring of fans for the Snyder Cut and how we got that, just through our willpower and our sharing on social media and our tenacity regarding the release of that film. But here's the reason I don't really think that they are going to continue Superman, the series following Henry Cavill Superman. I don't think they will because they've had every opportunity to do so. I mean, they've had every opportunity since the film's release in 2013, which was a box office success. They could have followed it up immediately with the sequel. Standalone, obviously. Not standalone as in it's not part of a shared universe, because obviously Man of Steel started the shared universe, but standalone as in a solo film within the DCEU, but just Superman. Not, they brought in Batman, Wonder Woman, and all that crazy stuff we saw in BVS, Batman v Superman. But they focus on like Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey, and I've supported all the DC movies, all the DCEU films. But they just went the wrong direction. They went the wrong way. Honestly, I do not think they are going to come to their senses and do a Man of Steel 2. But if they did, this is what I would like to see. Let me know in the comments if you guys think this is like a good idea for a movie. I think it's actually kind of interesting. But before I go into like what I think Man of Steel 2 should be, I'm going to tell you kind of what's floating around. They're kind of floating some ideas around of different stories taken from, which is kind of weird, but Death of Superman, which I don't think they're going to go in that direction anymore because, they were saying, well, Superman's already died. That was kind of like a huge story arc, so for them to actually try and do a Death of Superman type thing wouldn't really work out well because it wouldn't really have much of an impact since he's already died and been resurrected. The other thing that we're talking about is some stories from All-Star Superman, which is what I talked about last time. All-Star Superman is probably one of my favorite Superman graphic novels of all time, just because there's so many good stories in there. Again, it's based off, the Solaris. He's kind of like this supercomputer giant solar star thing. Anyway, there's this, Lex Luthor puts together this elaborate plot. Superman gets exposed to too much solar radiation and he starts dying. And, there's so much good stuff in that book. I covered it last time, the replacement Superman, and I think he goes against, let's see, Hercules and Samson. There's also like these little weird lizard dinosaur people that survived the extinction of the dinosaurs, and they live like close to the core of the earth, which that would be kind of far out there for a sequel, like if they were doing live action. But yeah, so what I've been hearing is possible not Death of Superman, but possible All-Star Superman type stuff, which would be cool. Honestly, they could do a lot. There's a lot of material in All-Star Superman. It's just a fantastic novel. This is my idea, honestly, for a Man of Steel 2. If WB was going to actually come to their senses and make a Superman sequel, this would be my idea. Here's kind of the premise I would kind of put forth on a script. So with following the events, whether they would consider the Snyder Cut, Justice League Snyder Cut, canon or non-canon, whether they consider the theatrical release the actual canon or the Snyder Cut, it really doesn't matter. But because the main point is There is a team of superheroes that can protect the Earth now. There's a team of heroes that Superman trusts, and he would be willing to team up with them, and he trusts them to protect the world in his absence, or if he were to, you know, be under mind control or die, or again, like go off somewhere. So this is what my idea would actually be for a Man of Steel sequel. Is I kind of have I have kind of an idea for like a sequel and then like a third film. But my idea would be Superman actually gets a distress call from a Kryptonian colony, in the far reaches of outer space, which would take, I believe he still has a Kryptonian, I believe he still has access to one Kryptonian ship, to where he would be able to travel in space. It could be a distress signal, and he finds out maybe he gets messages from the Kryptonians, and he studied their language through some time, and he's able to understand their language, and he realizes they need help because they're on a far off colony, and they're running out of resources, and basically you know they're basically like dying in because they're running out of resources because they've exhausted everything. Because if you remember in Man of Steel, they set out for that great expansion and they started colonizing other worlds, but they were eventually cut off from Krypton. So Zod said those outposts withered and died long ago, but let's just say there was one that actually survived because it was they had a lot of the resources that Krypton was sending early on, and then they made use of the natural resources on the planet, and they were just really innovative, and they survived for a long time. So let's say they're on this far off planet. Who knows what the planet would actually be or what it would be like. Superman, he gathers the League, um, and he says, there's something I have to do. My people need me. I have to see if there are other Kryptonians out there. So upon arriving to the distress planet, he finds his people. There are Kryptonians there. But my idea is, I think this would be pretty cool if they were actually, like, say, under Brainiac's rule. Maybe not the main Brainiac, but maybe some of his, his droids, his sentries, the Brainiac bots, because he has all these other copies of himself, basically, that he controls. And, I think it would be cool if, in order to kind of free his people from Brainiac's control and basically Brainiac's oppression, he has to kind of battle his way through maybe this odd planet that's got weird storms or a weird atmosphere that he's not super used to. So you'd have that aspect of it, and then he's actually battling like Brainiac and the drones, and trying to free his people. So that could be very cool. That could be a very interesting way to go, because this would all be a plan for Brainiac to lure Superman to the planet. Now, I think it would be a good story because Brainiac is a guy, he started out as an organic life form, kind of just like a humanoid. And over time, he amassed great knowledge. He was able to basically become like the smartest being on his planet, was able to master space travel, and just, so intelligent. He was able to gather so much knowledge on like physics, space travel, chemistry, just matter and energy in general. He's a super genius in the DC universe. He's basically like the smartest being in the universe. And so he is a collector of knowledge. That's all he really cares about, is bettering himself and becoming the best there is. So what they could do is maybe not make Brainiac just some super power hungry guy who just really wants all the power just because, for the sake of knowledge. But maybe give him a little bit of something like, Give us a little bit something more to work with. Not that he's a bad villain, because he's a great villain, and not that he doesn't have much to work with, but make it kind of relatable. Like maybe he's trying to improve his physiology to be able to survive in so many different types of environments. And he needs Clark's DNA. And that's why he lured him to this planet, because Clark is the best of all Kryptonians, because he was basically imbued with the all the Kryptonian DNA. So all the Kryptonians that were going to become scientists or fighters or whatever it was, he basically has all the genetics of any type of Kryptonian ever in his DNA. So let's say Brainiac is trying to improve his own physiology by extracting the Kryptonian DNA from Superman, because all he needs is all he needs is Superman to get every type of Kryptonian genetic code that there ever has existed. All he needs is Superman. So let's say he's experimenting and trying to replicate different DNA strands from the Kryptonians that he's currently basically, let's say he's enslaving them, but it's not working. And here's what I think would be cool: if through his multiple experiments over time, he's created a clone of Superman, and he's gotten close, but he just hasn't cracked that code yet. I think it would be cool if he created a clone, and it could be like basically like a Bizarro version, just a clone that is very close to Superman, his powers and abilities, but is really not intelligent, or he's not really the best version of a Kryptonian. So I think you could have a version of Bizarro, and I think that would be cool to see Superman go up against Bizarro, which is, I think originally he was like a clone of Superboy, which, a clone, I believe in the older comics, Superboy was still a clone. So he was like a clone of a clone. With genetics, you can only clone something so many times until the just the process becomes kind of corrupted and tainted from using the same DNA and just kind of diluting it so much. But I think it would be cool to see him face off against Bizarro, and then face off against Brainiac and free his people. I think that'd be a great sequel. And then this is my idea for a third film. So with whatever ship he came to the Kryptonian outpost in, if he has room on his ship, he would basically take people back and try and find a new Krypton. Like there's some comic books where they have established a new Krypton, or they actually just have access to Brainiac's mothership, one of his ships that are on that outpost, and they know how to navigate, and they kind of go off on their separate way from Superman and establish their own home, or at least search for it. And Superman says, I'll join you soon, and he'll keep in contact with them. I think that should be kind of like the end of the film. We can see him leaving the planet at the end of the film. Or you start the next film, either him leaving the planet, which I think it'd be better to just end the film with him leaving, heading back to Earth. And then in this, maybe the beginning of a third film, I think it would be cool for his ship to actually be attacked by Lobo. If anyone knows anything about Lobo from the comic books, he's a pretty cool dude. He rides a flying motorcycle through space, and he's a biker, and he's kind of like a rocker. And basically, he's just like a bounty hunter. He collects rare specimens. And Superman obviously is a rare specimen, being the last of his kind, or alleged last of his kind. So, I figured Superman is weakened from his battle with Brainiac and Bizarro, and he gets defeated by Lobo. Now, here's the cool thing. He's taken to War World, okay, where he has to fight to survive. And when I say world, anyone who knows where I'm going with this is Mongol, because Mongol is someone who's comparable to Superman in strength. He's very tactical, he's very intelligent, and he definitely can rival Superman in strength and has even been able to overpower the Man of Steel. So, Mongol and Lobo had this agreement to where you're going to bring me the Kryptonian and you get X, Y, and Z, whatever. And now Superman has to fight on Warworld. Basically, if you guys remember the JLA episode, he had to fight on. I think he was actually with John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, and they had to survive on Warworld for a while. And I think that would just be a great third film. We get to see Superman kind of recovering and trying to survive on Warworld, and it's brutal, it's bloody. It's basically a gladiator tournament, and Mongol rules this planet. And if the fans want you to finish the opponent, when you're in the arena, you have to kill that person. But in the cartoon, the JLA series, Superman refused to kill people. So it would be a moral dilemma for him. He would have some matches on World, and then let's say, I think this would be a huge twist that would be kind of awesome. But let's say, there's a match between Superman and there's this armored fighter completely covered, head to toe in armor. And, Superman just cannot defeat this foe because the foe is fast, strong, agile, and just kind of ruthless. But Superman eventually, he kind of cuts loose a little bit. He starts regaining his power a little bit more over time. And, let's say he breaks through her armor and, it's let's say it's a female, right? And let's say she starts blasting laser beams, heat beams out of her eyes. And, she's speaking a language that sounds oddly familiar to him. And then he finds out that it's a Kryptonian, But later, how about we have it revealed that it's actually Supergirl? And that when Brainiac captured Kandor all those years ago before the destruction of the original Krypton, Brainiac took Kandor and Kara Zor-El. Let's say in this story, Kara Zor-El never left the city. She never was shot out into space, but rather she was still in Kandor, but Brainiac had her now. And so let's say Mongol made a deal with Brainiac to get one of the Kryptonians. It just happened to be Kara. And so, Brainiac, he has all the other Kryptonians, but Mongol, they had a deal, and he got a Kryptonian from Brainiac. So now Mongol has basically Kara, Supergirl, fighting in a gladiator tournament on World. So Superman, Kal-El of Krypton, and Kara Zor-El of Krypton from the city of Kandor, and he realizes that this is his kin, basically his ilk, and he has to decide what is he going to do, but Mongol is going to be that brutal, ruthless person and say that you can get your freedom, Kal-El, but you have to kill this other Kryptonian. So now Superman is in a dilemma. If he wants to get back home and escape World, all he has to do is kill this Kryptonian, which, it doesn't have to be Kara. I just think it'd be a nice twist if it was Kara Zor-El, Supergirl. So Mongol says you have to kill this Kryptonian and you're free to go. No tricks. I'll keep my word. So Superman's in a dilemma, because Superman, if you remember in Man of Steel, which a lot of people were really put off by, is that he did kill Zod. He did to save lives. But, some people were like, yeah, that's not really Superman. He would never take someone's life in a fit of rage, which, I don't know. I guess it wasn't a fit of rage. He was protecting people. But so now anyway, Superman's in a dilemma. If he wants to leave, he has to kill this Kryptonian. So what does he do? Does he Does he follow the rules of Warworld and kill this Kryptonian in order to go back home and, basically keep protecting Earth? Or does he spare his own kin but gets trapped on Warworld? You know, so I think we all know what Superman would do. He would find a way to still escape Warworld without killing Kara, or let's just say it doesn't have to be Kara. I just think it would be so cool for this story, or this other Kryptonian. And then, while all this is going on, everything with Superman's story arc, we could still have things going on Earth with, obviously like Shazam, Aquaman, and maybe, I know they're working on Flash. All those other solo films could just be going on. Superman is just not there. So other heroes have stepped up. And I actually think they could add a little bit of the Reign of the Superman story in. We could see Steel, we could see Superboy, come into play while Superman is off on this quest to save his people. So you can take elements from Death of Superman and Reign of the Superman without necessarily doing the entire Death of Superman story. I think it would be cool to see Steel, Superboy, and Cyborg Superman and the Eradicator. And the thing with Cyborg Superman, I feel, is Hank Henshaw, the astronaut who is turned into Cyborg Superman. He resents Superman because Superman wasn't there to save him. And that could be. It doesn't have to be the exact story about how he became Cyborg Superman in the comics, but while Superman is away, there's this accident, and his spaceship's destroyed or whatever. He gets rebuilt with Kryptonian physiology and technology, and he becomes Cyborg Superman. And basically he's just upset that Superman wasn't there to save him. Because Superman's went off to some other galaxy somewhere. So we could see Cyborg Superman come to power and maybe even battle the Justice League, or someone like Steel and Superboy and the Eradicator. While Superman's off, we can still have all that stuff going on. And once the third Superman film comes to an end, he's on his way back, to Earth as the film ends. And you can have all those other stories going on with, Shazam, Cyborg, Flash. I don't think there's anything going on with Martian Manhunter, but, just the stuff that they have planned. So, Aquaman 2, Flash, which we don't know if it will be exactly in this timeline or this universe or not. But you could have all that stuff going on. And then you can actually have, at the end of the Snyder Cut, we see Darkseid saying, ready the Armada, we're going to use the old ways. So because Steppenwolf discovered that anti-life was on Earth. And so Darkseid can come to Earth and they won't stand a chance. The combined might of the entire Justice League will not be enough to stop Darkseid until Superman returns to Earth, after his third film. I just think it could be really, really creative. It could be really immersive. It could be a lot of great stories. But that's just my opinion. Again, I really don't even think Warner Brothers is going to push the green light on the Man of Steel sequel. I really don't. But I just think that's kind of just my idea of what a Superman trilogy could be for the DCEU. But I want to know what you guys think. If this is like a good story idea, if you like it, leave some comments and tell me what you think. So anyway, I tried to keep this video short. It's almost 25 minutes, which I guess that's kind of short for me, considering like how much I could go into like Superman stories and just different arcs and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm going to end the video there. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll be back with another video soon.